Well, I'm out today on the red revolt again. I have been using the blue one. It's just coincidental that whenever I seem to do a video, I'm on the red one. I went out yesterday on the blue bike, take it into the shop and get new brake pads fitted. I know, it's a job I can do myself without really any problem. But I kind of decided I'm going to support my local shop, because when you need something bigger doing and they've closed down, you'll be stuck. So I arranged a little route. So I'd have about a 20-mile ride ending at the bike shop. And then I arranged for my wife to come and pick me up and say putting the bike in the car. But it didn't go as planned. The motorway was closed, I didn't know at the time. And it was all sort of gridlocked. Because when the motorway's closed, everybody thinks, oh, I know a way. And they go down a lane thinking they're the only one that knows about it. So I was going along this lane and there was loads of cars passing me. And I was thinking, well, what's going on? This road doesn't really go anywhere. And it's quite a steep downhill, and I got down towards the bottom and there was a queue. I don't think I'd be exaggerating if I said there was 100 cars. I don't like the look of that black cloud ahead. There's no rain forecast. But that doesn't mean anything these days. Anyway, back to the story. So I rode past a few of the cars and then I could see that the main road ahead was also at a standstill. But there were cars trying to come up the lane and there wasn't room for them to get past. So the place was literally gridlocked. I mean, there was no way I could get past, not even on a bike. So I had to turn around and go back up the steep hill, try and find another way. And so whichever way I went, it was just gridlocked. And I annoyed the car drivers because I just rode past them. I mean, why wouldn't you? And if they don't like it, the solution is get yourself a bike. The fact is, there are too many cars on the road. The reason the motorway gets closed so often is because if there were one or two cars passing the scene of an incident, they could get on and do what they needed to do. And when there's a million cars passing it, they can't. So they close the road. Right. Let's go and try this. This is a path I've ridden recently a couple of times. It's a new route. But I haven't done it in this direction. Oh, what a view. And as I said, all of these things are caused, all of the restrictions on motorists, the new layers, the low traffic neighbourhoods, all of the things they complain about is simply because there's too many cars on the road. And that's why it's ironic that car drivers seem to be anti-cyclist. It just makes no sense. Because the more people that go out on bikes, the less people go out in cars. It's a simple thing. People are going, yeah, but what about the leisure cyclist? Well, here's the thing. If people weren't cycling as a leisure activity, they'd have to find something else. and it would almost certainly involve getting in their car to get there. I don't know whether the anti-cycling feeling is as strong in other countries. It's really bad here in Britain, and the government have jumped straight on it because they failed at literally everything. So it's easy to pick on culture war targets to distract from their failings. And then every now and then somebody gets hit by a cyclist, and that just fuels the culture war all over again. On average, a pedestrian is killed by a cyclist every 18 months. And that's enough to get everybody in a panic about the terrible danger of cyclists. The fact that one pedestrian is killed by a car every day is neither here nor there, because culture wars don't really trade in facts. So the sudden knee-jerk is we need a new law. Death by dangerous cycling. And that's fine. But now we have Schrödinger's cyclist, the one who's simultaneously going so slow that he's holding everyone up, and so fast that he's a menace to pedestrians. Of course, the law won't pass because the Prime Minister's just called an election, so that'll go on the back burner now. Of course, one of the biggest issues is the sense of entitlement of car drivers who believe they are the superior road user. And this, of course, is also promoted by the government because whatever lip service they pay, they don't want cars off the road. It's their biggest cash cow. They're quite happy to have you sitting in traffic jams for hours at a time, burning up fuel, because 80% of what you paid for the fuel ends up in their back pocket. Whew. This path's getting worse. Thought it would dry out a bit, you know, as we move to what we jokingly refer to as summer in Britain. I don't know what the solution is. What I do know is we should all be sticking together. So often on social media you see arguments, cyclists against cyclists. Some as trivial as whether you're using the right type of brakes, you know, the dinosaurs like their rim brakes. And should e-bikes be allowed, and all kinds of things like this. And let's be honest, we should all be sticking together. Anyone who pedals a bike is a cyclist. Simple as that. And you can discuss all you like about e-bikes with throttles and so on. Well, they're not bicycles. The people who are riding them are using them as transport, and they're not getting involved in who should have the right type of bike. They're not on cycling forums. For a standard e-bike, you've got to pedal it to get it going. Simple as that. And if you're out pedaling the bike, whether you want assistance or whether you need assistance, you're still out cycling. You're enjoying the fresh air, and you're getting a bit of exercise. And we should be supporting each other because that's how culture wars work, divide and rule. Turn people against each other. And that's what we've seen already, because we're all road users. And the condition of the roads is something we should all be concerned about. But they've managed to turn cyclists against motorists to create a division. We won't talk about the potholes, we won't talk about the diabolical state of the roads. We'll argue about whether cyclists should have insurance. Something that would make absolutely no difference to any motorist whatsoever anywhere. Cyclists don't pay road tax. There's all sorts of nuances to that argument, but just at a basic level, they don't damage the road, they don't have the weight. On the other hand, electric cars, which are significantly heavier than petrol and diesel cars, they don't pay road tax either, and they do damage the road. So as a cyclist, as I said, I think we should all just support each other, try and promote cycling in any shape or form, because otherwise the politicians are going to come for us and they're going to put more and more restrictions on us and take away the sport we love.